Hey, fellow babies, welcome back to the Pach-Attack.
I got a question from the forum from Marximum. Hey, Big P, do Microsoft and Sony charge appropriately to consumers for the use of online multiplayer to cover the cost of running the servers, or do you think they charge a surplus that would be considered a tad greedy? All in all, do you think the price of playing online multiplayer is fair? I'm certain that $5 a month is priced to be profitable. So the answer is it costs them less than $5 a month on average. The cost is really server and support time. Server time goes down, obviously, because server costs get cheaper and cheaper. Support time goes up because wages go up. And people call because they can't figure stuff out. So if I had to bet, I'd say it costs on average $3.50, $4 a month. I think that the cost probably was $3 or $3.50 when Microsoft started out charging, $50 a year. They raised it to $60 a couple of years ago, probably because their costs went up about 50 cents and they wanted to build in a little surplus. They wouldn't have to raise it again. Sony gave it away for free. Trust me, they were losing $3 per person that was playing online. They're charging now, and a tad greedy. Look, there's a concept you guys should all look up called capitalism. These guys are public companies, they are businesses, they exist to make a profit, so greedy isn't the right term. They spend money and provide a service to consumers. They charge for that service, and the idea is charge more than you spend, and that equals profit. And if they don't make a profit, then they will lose their jobs and someone else will take over who will make a profit. Or if the company's business model is broken and they can't make a profit, they will go out of business. That's THQ. So, and that's Midway, and that's Acclaim. Do you remember those companies? They made good games and they don't make them anymore. So no, I don't think it's greedy. And then the final question, do I think the price of playing online multiplayer is fair? I think that the subscription model is inherently fair, because if you play Call of Duty 30 hours a week, well, $5 is really cheap. You're paying pennies per minute, per hour, excuse me, to play Call of Duty. If you are like me and you have Xbox Live Gold and you never play online multiplayer, and I would say never is probably a stretch. I played it last year, but I just don't care anymore. Every once in a while I do co-op, but I'd say hour a year, 2 hours a year. Last time I actually played in that was Left 4 Dead 2, I think. So I'm getting ripped off. I mean, I'm paying $5 a month to watch Netflix, which I have a Roku box, and if I wanted to hook it up to the TV I prefer to watch Netflix on, I wouldn't have to pay $5 a month. So yeah, I'm getting ripped off. But the guy who uses it a ton isn't. So it's like saying, do you think that paying $30 a month for a gym membership is a fair price? If you never go, they're ripping you off by $30 a month. If you go every single day, it's a bargain. So I think that the subscription model is built that way. Some people abuse the subscription and get a real great value from it. Some people don't use a subscription and they get ripped off. So it depends. So if you're paying $5 a month for either one, play a lot of multiplayer and then it's totally fair. Okay, we have a question from Twitter from @RobertTonkley. Xbox One can't run Call of Duty Ghosts at 1080p native, PS4 will. Will this hurt Xbox One's long-term sales? I don't know. I heard that yesterday. I actually had an investor ask me that question, and I have to tell you, I'm not even sure if I know what the word native means in that setting, but does Call of Duty Ghosts not display at 1080p?
It does 720p and upraises to 1080.
So how does it look? Like 1080? See, that's the thing I don't get, and if it looks like 1080p and it quacks like 1080p, is it 1080p? I mean, who cares if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and smells like a duck? Who cares if it's not a duck? So I don't know the answer. I think that most consumers are about as unsophisticated about this as I am. I think most consumers will play it on an Xbox One and we'll play it on a PS4 and look at them and they look the same and they'll be fine. And I don't think most of us care if it upscaled or not. I don't think that matters at all. So no, but I don't know. I mean, let's say, I said most, let's say 10% of consumers actually care. Sure, those 10% probably will say I hate the Xbox One. 5% of them were going to buy a PS4 anyway, probably 6% because the PS4 is cheaper. So it might cut into Xbox One market share by 4 percentage points. It could, but maybe Microsoft will figure out a way to get things to be more seamless and run 1080p native. And again, sorry, I just, like, if it looks 1080p, I'm okay with it. So I'm not really sure how to answer the question. Okay, we have a question from Twitter from @Faustino7. Why is the Xbox Marketplace not selling day one releases? That's just leaving money to GameStop. Yeah, they are. Microsoft has a different approach than Sony. Microsoft believes that retail matters. I think I said that wrong. Don't mean to suggest that Sony doesn't care about retail, but Microsoft is very sensitive to their retail partners. The retail partners don't like it when you can download a game. They just don't like it, period. They would rather sell every single unit in physical form. As you said, it's leaving money to GameStop. If you allow digital downloads, then you're taking money from GameStop. That's GameStop's perspective. I'm not sure that most consumers care. I mean, obviously, a digital download is convenient, and if it's background downloaded, you can start playing at midnight instead of having to wait until the 10 minutes it takes to drive home from the GameStop. So I get that, but I think that the publishers and Microsoft in particular value GameStop as a retail partner who helps drive awareness of the game. So when you're in a GameStop, especially if your grandma buying little Johnny a new console, and think of grandma buying little Johnny a PS3, not a PS4. This holiday. So little Johnny, who just turned 10 and grandma decides she's getting him a PS3, she's going to go into GameStop and she's going to say, what game should I get him? And GameStop's going to say, Call of Duty or Battlefield or Madden or whatever. Well, they're probably going to be even more friendly on the Xbox because Microsoft's friendly to them. I think Microsoft recognizes that the GameStop clerks really do drive purchases. And my personal anecdote there is, at the insistence of Jeremy Hoffman, who is, I guess, our executive muckety-muck guy on game trailers, I bought Fallout 3 a year after it launched. So it's a game that Bethesda didn't send me. I don't remember how many years ago, 2010 or something, a while ago, 2009 or 10. And I bought Fallout 3, and I went into GameStop, and I plunked my $60 down. And as I was checking out, the clerk's like, this is a great game, you're gonna really like it. And I said, yeah, I heard that. And he goes, well, you really need to buy the expansion packs too if you're gonna play the game. And they had 2 packaged expansion packs, the first and second, which I don't remember, Pittsburgh and whatever the hell the other one's called, but I forgot what it's called. But the Brotherhood one, the one that was like, which I really like that one, by the way. Brotherhood of Steel and the one that wasn't called The Pit and Brotherhood of Steel. And the other 3 were downloads. And I was like, are you kidding me? And the guy was like, I can sell you the download codes. And I thought, well, shit. That'll save me having to look them up on Xbox Live, so why not? So I bought 5 downloads and the game. I ended up spending $135 instead of $60. Now, is that good for Microsoft? 5 downloads. Is that good for Bethesda? 5 expansion packs. Yeah, it's good for everybody because I spent more money because that GameStop clerk talked me into it. If you do things that are online, discovery's up to you. And I think that the publishers and Microsoft appreciate that a lot of extra purchases are driven by GameStop, so they go out of their way to be nice to GameStop. And again, I'm not saying that Sony doesn't appreciate it. I think Sony is trying to drive PlayStation Network and adoption of that because they're going to get that $50 or $60 a year for life. So they have a different reason for why they're offering day one downloads. Hope that was responsive. If you have a question for me, you can submit it to the link below. If you'd like to ask me a question on Twitter, send it to @MichaelPachter, copy @GameTrailers, and apply the hashtag AskPack, and we will answer every question we can get to. I will send you a direct message and answer your question directly if you follow me on Twitter @MichaelPachter. Thanks very much for joining us. All right, Villa Babies, if you'd like to check out more episodes, you can do so on YouTube, or we'll save you some time. You can stay on the site, and you can check them out right there.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Few outtakes.
The word of a generation.
It is kind of an odd word, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so stupid. I feel like an idiot every time I use that word.
Dr. Awesome.